clear message from Minister Hakan Fidan to ambassadors. We will not let terrorist organizations breathe, Minister of Foreign Affairs Hockenfiden said. In an environment where all Balkan countries, Moldova and even Ukraine, the membership of the European Union, EU and NATO are discussed. It is strategic blindness that Turkey's EU membership process has been aborted. In the new period, Turkey-EU relations, it is important to approach with a visionary perspective and to revive the process with a full membership perspective. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan spoke at the opening of the 14th Ambassadors Conference at the Presidential Complex. Minister Feiden said that the conference was an opportunity to discuss the national foreign policy vision. He stated that the current international system cannot produce peace, stability, and justice for most of the world, and that the international system, which is getting away from balance, hosts many unpredictable developments, and this situation increases the fragility. We will advance with honest but stable steps, stating that their vision is to make Turkey one of the system-building actors in the century of Turkey. Feiden said, "We will achieve this great goal by predicting and shaping change. We are the one who eliminates global injustices, goes over economic inequalities, and produces peace, security, stability, and prosperity. We will work together with other countries to establish an international system that is effective, inclusive, and embracing humanity. With the awareness that great changes require strategic patience and strong will, we will proceed with modest but steady steps. While we are implementing these steps, we will act in line with four basic strategic goals. These are peace and stability in our region, establishing security, building our foreign relations on a structural basis, improving the environment of prosperity, and advancing our global goals," he said. "We will not breathe terrorist organizations," stating that the first goal is to intensify measures and initiatives to reduce conflict areas. In the context of establishing peace and security, Feiden said, "The biggest threat to security, peace, and stability in our region is terrorist organizations and other proxy organizations, whether it's FETO, PKK, YPG or not, be it DAESH. Together with all our relevant institutions, we will not leave any space. We will not take a breath. In this direction, we will continue our struggle by increasing our military, intelligence, and technological capabilities at home, while ensuring effective cooperation with our friends abroad. We will stubbornly and persistently continue to strive for the end of the war and the establishment of peace. We find the recent escalation of the war to be worrying. As the implementer of the Montreux Convention, it will be our main priority to preserve the calm, especially in the Black Sea, and to prevent any attempts to endanger it. We will continue our contacts with all parties for the revitalization of the Black Sea Grain Initiative, which affects households. The only actor that can do this is Turkey," he said. "We deserve our relations to contact positively," emphasizing that they will continue to be the main advocate of resolving the conflict in Syria through a political process and on the basis of Syria's territorial integrity. Feiden said, "We will make every effort to remove Syria from being a haven for terrorist organizations and an arena for proxy wars. We will also accelerate our efforts to ensure safe and dignified returns. We are the main defenders of the territorial integrity and political stability of our other neighbor, Iraq. We will continue to support the removal of terrorist organizations, especially the PKK. We wish to advance our relations with all countries in our region through a positive agenda. We believe that the current positive atmosphere offers a great opportunity to find solutions to conflicting issues with our neighbor Greece. We are sincere in this regard, the same sincerity on the Greek side. On the other hand, our stance on our national cause in Cyprus is clear. The registration of the sovereign equality and equal international status of the Turkish Cypriots is our basic policy. We will continue to sensitively protect our rights and interests in the Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean. We will continue to be with Palestine, stating that the reconciliation and normalization processes in the Middle East and South Caucasus have gained momentum. Feiden said, "We will seek to solve problems, increase the number of our friends, and strengthen our existing friendships. On the basis of our basic foreign policy principles, it is essential that the processes of Armenia and Azerbaijan-Armenia proceed in a coordinated manner. The only way to permanent peace in the Middle East is the two-state solution. On the basis of international parameters, the establishment of an independent and sovereign Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. We will stand against the provocations targeting Aqsa. Reviewing the process is important, stating that the country that all countries and nations trust in the Balkans, which is built on delicate balances, is Turkey. And the political leader is President Recep Tayyip Erdogan," Feiden said. By developing some hypothetical and historical and hollow concept, Feiden made Turkey almost an extra-regional power, even a power outside the region. Defining them as an adversary is the worst mistake that can be made in the Balkans. It is strategic blindness that Turkey's EU membership process has failed in an environment where all Balkan countries, Moldova, and even Ukraine's EU and NATO membership are discussed. It is important to approach EU relations with a visionary perspective and to revitalize the process with the perspective of full membership. On the basis of our President's call to revive Turkey's EU membership process, we emphasize once again that an EU without Turkey cannot be a truly global actor. We also expect it to be in a structure that equally considers the security threats and concerns it faces. In this context, we repeat the call of some NATO countries to immediately end their open and covert cooperation with the PKK in Syria and Iraq, he said. We will look for new alliance and partnership, stating that the second goal is to put foreign relations on a structural basis, Feiden said. We will work to make our existing cooperation and alliance systems more effective in political, military, economic, and other fields. The visionary Turkish States Organization initiative, which embraces our civilizational roots, is an example of this institutionalization. We will carry this exciting breakthrough in the Turkish world to further integration stages. We will also implement similar initiatives to increase the solidarity of the Islamic world. In this way, we will transform our technical cooperation capacity, which has now become a global brand, into a more systematic and effective one. High-level strategic cooperation councils. And we will use our regional consultation mechanisms more effectively and efficiently. In addition, we will seek new alliances and partnerships and enrich our foreign relations and cooperation network, stating that they have determined the development of a welfare environment as their third goal, Feiden said. The contributions we will make to regional peace, security, and stability will also increase welfare. In the Turkish century, we will try to make the economic, trade, and financial pillars of our bilateral and regional relations more systematic and institutional. A strong, self-sufficient economy with access to global opportunities is the biggest pillar of our national strength. We will plan and execute our foreign policy in a way that supports these economic goals, he said. We will contribute to transactions through local currency, stating that they will support the development of alternative financial and economic instruments to ensure the financial security of Turkey and the region, Feiden said. In this context, we will contribute to the realization of foreign economic transactions in local currencies, starting from our immediate region. Policies that will accelerate the circulation of people, capital, goods, and services. Our efforts to update the customs union with the EU and to ensure visa liberalization will also intensify. in line with our goal of becoming one of the 10 largest economies in the world. We will develop and diversify our commercial and economic relations with all geographies. We will ensure that high-end critical technology areas, including the defense industry, are part of the economy. We will carefully carry out the foreign relations dimension of the steps towards its transformation into a locomotive. We will consolidate our position as a center in energy and transportation corridors and increase our connectivity capacity, he said. We will contribute to the solution of global problems, stating that the fourth goal is to contribute to the advancement of Turkey's global goals, Feiden said. In this context, we will put our Asia, Latin America and Africa partnership initiatives in a more permanent and institutional framework, contributing to the solution of global problems for a fairer world order, because we are a nation that is disturbed by global injustices. Our president expresses this attitude of Turkey in every meet, in with the calls the world is bigger than 5 inches and a fairer world is possible. Reform of the structures established after the Second World War. We will continue our efforts to ensure fairer representation in the UN and other international institutions and to increase the effectiveness of these institutions. We will advocate the reform of international financial institutions in a way that will end the debt crisis and establish the infrastructure for sustainable development, he said. The opening of the conference was attended by Mahinar Gözdemir, Gekta, Minister of Family and Social Services, as well as ambassadors from overseas representatives and central organization, ministry officials, and many guests.